Sup? The enduring name. Back with another Black Ops 2 Emblem tutorial, and this time I'm gonna be covering the Patriots logo. So brace yourselves for the next 13 minutes, and probably longer if you pause the video a lot, because it's a little bit of a doozy. But once you get there, it's pretty satisfying. And especially if the Patriots are your favorite team or something, or you live in Boston, what have you. Which personally I do not, and they're probably not in my top 15 teams, because I just think they win too much. They win too much. I mean, it's kind of like hating the New York Yankees. I just have to. But hey, I'm glad to bring you the logo. It's in popular demand, and by that I mean I saw one guy asking for it in the comments, but that's more than enough for me to go ahead and make it. And also, it's a pretty cool logo. I've always liked it, so here it is. Anyway, I'll probably do like a short walkthrough. I'll probably give you guys some tips for the first, 6 minutes or so, and then I'm just gonna let you sit in silence and make the logo. Seems kind of harsh. I don't really have any music to put in because I haven't talked to anyone about getting the rights to the music, which I would want to do if I had music. Maybe I'll rethink that later and actually put music in despite not having the rights. But anyway, for the last 6 minutes you will be in silence, but maybe you can put in your own music. So anyway, I'm getting off track a little bit. The tutorial. So essentially the strategy I use for this emblem is to go ahead and tackle the tougher stuff first, meaning like the face and the facial features. And to do that, as always, being the meticulous me, I use a lot of little like waving flags. That's what they call it in the game. And I use a lot of little triangles, and I think I use a visor as well. That's to make the mouth. And yeah, you just gotta shrink them down really small, stretch some of them out a little bit, and place them on top of the gray background of the face. And you're about to see the gray background of the face that I make, and that's like, now I have like some footing over which to set some some small blue triangles and whatnot. And as you see right now, I'm making the nose, and that's a really great way to put together the face. Also notice, guys, many people, when trying to draw the Patriots logo, kind of make the mistake of making the face too large, and even I'm guilty of that. In this tutorial I'm showing you, I end up not having enough room to fit the full logo in. A little bit of the tail end of it gets cut out, and that's just my mistake for making the face a little too big. So keep that in mind when making the logo. The face being small is required to really get the full thing in, unless you don't care about getting the full logo in, unless you just care about the face and the front part of the logo, which is kind of the main part of the logo anyway. And in that case, don't worry about making the face small. But if you do make it small, it's kind of easy because people won't notice any of your mistakes as much, I would say. So anyway, so yeah, you can see I'm almost completed with the face, and I guess it's not too bad. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the outcome of that. It's kind of funny. I thought the face would be the toughest part of this logo, and I really ran into some issues with making the top portion of the logo, the hat. And you'll see the final product. Again, I'm pleased with it, but I think it could be better. I maybe should have spent a little more time doing it. But then of course it might have turned out to be harder than need be. It's always a give and take. Like the last video I posted of the Houston Texans, some guy told me it was just too complicated. So I kept that in mind when making this logo. So yeah, a little give and take there, and I chose hopefully a nice medium. hard enough to be good looking, but not too hard to push people away. So anyway, so many tangents. Back to the logo. As you see, I'm making the top half, which I've said was kind of difficult, but you just kind of have to bear with it. I use a lot of like the slightly curved rectangular looking figures that you see me manipulating now, and I let those be the base of the hat. By the way, you saw like I just moved a triangle onto the hat, and you might be wondering, what the hell, like, why does he need that triangle? Well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I've said that before. Take a look at the actual logo, and you'll realize that when the blue meets the red within the hat, the blue is already kind of like going downward. It's already gone up, and now it's coming back down slowly. It's sloping downward, and it's already sloping downward when it meets the red. So that's why I needed the triangle, or else it wouldn't be like that. It would be a little different from that, and I can't have a little different. I want it to be exactly right. Also, you might notice, I think you can see it, the two tools I just used right there, the little square and the one of like the sharp little waving flags or claws or whatever, they are eventually going to be the color of the background, but right now they're a little off from the color of the background, just so I can see where they are. So that's the reasoning behind that at this moment. But later I will change them to white, pure white. Also, later in the video, I'm going to be, note this, I'm going to be changing the hat a little bit, because the first time around I wasn't very comfortable with it. It was just, I don't know, off. It was just off. And I tweaked it a little bit, and do pay attention to that for sure. Anyway, I believe that's going to be the last tip I leave you with. Other than the general tips, like, watch for any manipulations to the images I make, meaning to the tools themselves. Like watch for when I use the freescale, and maybe watch when I copy paste. Even though, every time I copy paste, again, I've said this in the previous video, but essentially every time I copy paste, it's not to just duplicate whatever image I'm going for. It's usually just so I can get to a tool quicker. Like if I've already used a certain tool, I just want to access it quicker rather than scrolling through through the whole menu to get to the same tool that I've already used. So that's usually what I do when I'm copying and pasting. So I hope you guys like this video, and of course the end result of this video. And stay tuned for more logos. I'm definitely gonna make the Atlanta Falcons logo. Well, I've already made that. I'm just gonna make the video for it. And the Green Bay is coming up, and so is the Denver Broncos. I'm also, of course, taking suggestions. If any of you guys would like to see an NFL logo or more, basketball logo, or maybe just a cartoon character, maybe Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't know. Just let me know, leave a comment below. And pay attention to the end of this video, or go back to the beginning, whatever. You'll see some of the logos that are upcoming, and you'll see a pretty neat Pokemon that's upcoming. It's Mewtwo, so watch for that. I thought I did a pretty good job, and you might want to know how to make it. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Later.